Papa Brad. We're looking at a hot new release coming out from Evercade. We're talking about Toaplan 4. What? Man, you can never have enough Toaplan games. Dogyun, Grindstormer, Knuckle Bash. I'm going to do a review of that after this video. If you don't know about Toaplan, Toaplan to me are some of the most legendary arcade games of all time. You got Sky Shark, Snow Bros 2. This is a day one buy for me. Toaplan games are legendary. Speaking of legendary games, let's take a look at Knuckle Bash. If you don't know it, it's time you found out about it. Knuckle Bash is a Toaplan arcade game released in 1993. Although Toaplan is mostly known for their epic shooters like Truxton, Zero Wing, and Embatsugan, they often dabbled in other genres. Knuckle Bash was their first attempt at a beat-em-up that plays like a slower version of Final Fight. The story of Knuckle Bash involves a group of heroic professional wrestlers going off to quit their jobs so they can fight a gang called the Bulls. The Bulls are a weird bunch, consisting of everything from a male stripper to ninjas to American football players. Their leader is a freakish fat man that wears a filleted pig head as a mask. I kid you not. One of the highlights of this game is even going to a football game to beat up a football player, only to find a secret trapdoor under the football stadium with a dungeon underneath it. At one point, you fight the ancient demon in the forest, only to reveal himself as your manager wearing a mask. Needless to say, Knuckle Bash does not take itself too seriously. Before choosing your characters, you get two places to start: off to destroy the bull group, or a fierce battle of the four mad bulls. None of them actually mean anything, except for which stages you accomplish first, because all the stages must be completed before moving on to the end game. Defeating either of these missions unlocks you a new character. So as you play this game, you get more and more characters that you can play as. One of my favorite characters is Flash. Flash is an Elvis impersonator and one of the coolest characters in the game. While other beat-em-ups have you fighting Elvis, this game you actually get to play as one. All I gotta say is rock and roll. It's here to stay, taking care of business. Devo, the character wearing the blue pants, is the fastest initial character, and he looks an awful lot like Street Fighter's Guile, or Dolph Lundgren. He also has the least interesting character in the game. His special attack has him lifting an enemy up and juggling them around like a clown. This has a medium range and can damage other enemies. The creative character designs and kind of goofy story make this game an absolute gem of a classic arcade game that most people have never heard about. If you haven't played this beat 'em up, I would highly recommend you give it a shot. Here I am playing as Nacho Libre. No, not really. This character's name is Dice, and he's a Mexican luchador and the strongest of the initial characters. He is somewhat slow to play as a character, but his special attack is amazing. He will grab an enemy and spin them around until they catch fire, hitting enemies in the process. Characters are like this as part of the magic that makes this game so unique. Here we face off against the ninja, Mr. Hayate. He's a very tough ninja that wears a leather mask. He excels in both speed and power, but he gets knocked around easily. His flying kick looks cool, and his special move has him spinning around until he becomes a tornado. One of the great things in this game is once you defeat a boss, you gain the ability to play as that character. So your players that you can play as expand as you move through the levels of the game. That plus the great art and the fun gameplay makes this a win in my book. If you are a fan of professional wrestling, this game has wrestling Easter eggs throughout it. Just a great game with a really fun style. One of my favorite bosses is a hulking American football player that you fight in the middle of a trapped stadium. He excels in strength and stamina, but he's unfortunately very slow. The football player has the most abusable special attack in the game when he slams his fist in the group and makes shockwaves, just like the Incredible Hulk. His shockwaves heavily damage all the enemies on the screen. Knuckle Bash never received a port to home consoles. The arcade version was published by Atari Games in North America. This is the definition of a hidden gem. This is a game that I had never played, that I played for the first time on iArcade. I have to say, I thoroughly enjoyed this game, and I would highly recommend this game as a must-have if you like the beat-em-up genre. I'm going to rate this game super high. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10 on my approval scale.